Almanacs with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back.
Welcome back, folks.
Yes, me and Chad are here for the second time this week. It is actually Wednesday the 10th.
Yep.
And we are back because we had some technical difficulties last night, outside of our own hands for once.
It was super windy, and the internet was acting up.
Yeah. So we lost the stream at one point, like 7 minutes in, and then the internet just kept going in and out. So if you did watch last night, we apologize. But for those tuning in tonight or listening after the fact,
hello,
welcome back. We appreciate you guys. If you haven't yet, please go like, share, subscribe, and follow us on all things social media. And as always, make sure to subscribe and rate us 5 stars on whatever you are watching or listening to us on. Chad, let's talk real quick again about our weekends because we didn't already do that last night.
These guys don't know, so we're going to run through it.
Yeah, let's do it.
You're going to hear it again.
Yeah, how was yours?
All right, last weekend was really good. We didn't do a whole lot. I got some plants repotted. The house is looking a little better, more put together. Instead of playing cards, we played beer pong. Just
nice.
me and Hannah, back and forth.
Yeah.
We're practicing for when the time comes.
Yeah, you never know when you're going to have a beer pong tournament all of a sudden. Just happen right
just
around
happens
you.
right there. And I don't want to suck.
Yeah.
Because she kicked my ass. And it fucking blows. But yeah, we got to get better.
Yeah, well, and the only way to get better is to keep practicing.
Yeah,
so.
it's a pretty serious sport.
Yeah. And we both probably watched a lot of football this weekend.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Finally got my gym set up down in the basement, so I'm really psyched about that. I still need to get the sand for my punching bag, but yeah, now I've got I'm ready for the playoffs. Got the TV mounted up in there. It's a legit gym.
Yeah.
For a basement.
Yeah, you can pump your iron and watch your sports as you go.
It's my iron paradise down there.
Get it first.
Oh, yeah, it's a good time. How was your weekend?
It wasn't too bad. Didn't do a whole lot. We kind of just hung out Saturday, and then her friend, Meryl's friend Lauren, came over, and she hung out, and I let them do girl stuff.
Shout out to Lauren.
Yeah, in the living room while I hung out in the bedroom and watched sports.
Cool.
And also did some rearranging and stuff in there. Made
Sweet.
the bedroom feel a little nicer.
Yeah.
So, I did that, and then Sunday went over and watched the old football game with the parents.
Cool.
Had some, football snacks. Meryl came over and hung out as well, and we watched the Broncos lose to the. We didn't even finish watching the game. We left before.
Oh,
it was
for
over.
real?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was just like, it's
the past 2 games, man. Like the game you guys went to with the Chargers and the Raiders game. It's like, that's why I started
boring.
the Raiders defense. It's hate to say it, but I just didn't
What'd
have
they
any
score?
faith. The Raiders defense, I think it was 8 or 11. I think it might have only been 8. I mean, it wasn't that bad because you guys did, I think, score 14 or 13.
I can't even remember.
Yeah,
I just forgot it.
Either way, I bet it was good to see the Pops.
Yeah, it was good to see them hang out, and then I am doing the dry January, so I am not partaking this month.
Hope I'm not too bad of an influence.
It's okay. I've got willpower.
That's right.
So I can fight through it. So.
Good. Well, I'm looking forward to it. You know what it is. I just gotta, take, you know why we do it.
Drinking my juices. They're not really juice. It's G Fuel. So again, G Fuel.
Please get at us.
Yeah, if you want me to, hawk your product for you, just let me know.
Same with Bullet Bourbon. I do love Bullet. I will keep talking about it if you send me some.
Yeah, exactly. So, cheers.
Cheers. Episode 67, man.
Yep, 67.
Chris, who wore number 67 that is notable?
That would be Mr. Bob Kuechenberg. He was a guard for the daunted Miami Dolphins. That is the one team that went undefeated. He played with the Dolphins for 14 seasons between 1970 and 1983. He spent the 1984 season on injured reserve, though, so that's why he is not listed there. He was a mainstay in a line that included Hall of Famers Jim Langer, Larry Little, Dwight Stevenson, and he played in 6 Pro Bowls in the late 70s and early 80s.
Yep.
He was been the top 15 finalist from 2002 through 2006 for the Hall of Fame, and the top 17 finalists from 2007 to 2009. But he missed the cut every year, unfortunately.
Still not in it.
No.
He does have the, he can say he did play for the perfect, immortal 1972 Dolphins, so
Yeah.
he can hang his hat on that.
He definitely can.
Yep.
He was inducted into the Miami Dolphins Honor Roll on December 15th in 1995. And he also was one of the 345 players to be diagnosed after death with CTE, which we all know is the new thing that is killing all these guys in their middle ages. So
Pretty big deal, though. He was that was that first study of those 345 people, and he was one of them.
Yeah. He actually did make it pretty far, though. He was 71 when he died in 2019. He actually just died
4 years ago.
It was 4 years ago, but he died January 12th. So
oh wow, it's almost right on the dot.
Yeah, it's coming up in
here in a couple days.
So.
Maybe we'll just have to pour one out for the homie. Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways,
well, he was a good number 67. So
yep. 2-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time first team All Pro, second team All Pro, 6-time Pro Bowl, like I said. So yeah, he was one hell of an offensive lineman.
That's right.
So cheers to him, Mr. Bob Kuechenberg.
All right, let's get into some headlines.
Let's get into it, Chad.
Headlines! Get your headlines here!
That's right.
Right.
It is time for headlines, and as always, we start it out with the NFL. So let me get going with a little bit of this.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
Yes, and we're giving you the business of football, and as always, we started out with the injuries. So from the final week, week 18, if you will, there were a few injuries. We're only going to go through the ones that were on teams that are playing this weekend. So real quick, we'll start it out with the Baltimore Ravens. Cornerback Marlon Humphrey calf did not return versus the Dolphins. I haven't seen where he's at. I think it's probably day-to-day, but I'm not entirely sure on that one.
Probably a calf strain or something.
A little calf strain.
I think Geno Stone also had a knee injury in that game as well and did not come back.
Ooh, Geno Stone. Stone no more.
He has a lot of interceptions this year.
Definitely. Do you want to take us to the next one?
Yep. Steelers, TJ Watt. He will be out for their playoff game against the Bills due to a knee sprain. This is super unfortunate. He led the league in sacks this year with 19, I believe. Yeah, it looks like... I mean, it's going to be a shocker if the Steelers beat the Bills, and they might need TJ Watt after that. But JJ Watt had a pretty good funny tweet. He was like, "I wonder if anybody would notice."
Oh yeah, I know. They literally could sign him.
That's what I thought too. He could just, he's not technically retired. They could sign him, and he could play. They could still have a Watt.
Yeah,
I think they should.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Yep. Let's take it to his next one.
Well, yeah, let me get it to the Buffalo Bills, who we were just kind of speaking about. Tight end Dawson Knox was evaluated for a head injury versus the Patriots. I'm trying to see what his... I'm not seeing anything, so he may be good to go. So, yeah, he must have cleared concussion protocol, so good for him.
Nice.
Take us to the next one, Chad.
All right. Yeah, also in the Bills, Gabe Davis. Non-contact knee injury. We still haven't heard the severity of that. And then Rasul Douglas also had a knee injury in that game and had to leave the game. So we'll see the injury report before the games come out. We'll see how that turns out.
Yes, we will. Okay. Let us go to the Dallas Cowboys. Stephon Gilmore's shoulder did not return versus the Commanders.
Popped out of place.
Yeah, definitely.
Says he's going to play this next week, though.
Oh, also with the Buffalo Bills, I forgot about this. Rasul Douglas, did we mention him?
Yeah, I said that one.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry.
You're
My
good.
Bad. Take us to the next one, Chad.
All right. The Rams, safety Jordan Fuller, hurt his ankle and left the game. Yeah, they're going to need him to cover Amon-Ra and all those weapons that the Lions have.
Yeah, and speaking of the Lions, we'll move to them next. Big loss for them. Rookie tight end Sam Laporta, after setting the rookie tight end record for receptions, ends up hyperextending his knee and has a bone bruise. He will miss this game, and also Khalif Raymond knee was also ruled out. So Lions could in theory be without a couple of their top receiving options. Could all be on Amon St. Ra to get this done.
Could be, yeah.
We'll
and
see.
he just dyed his hair blue blue, so he's ready.
He's ready.
Yeah.
Lions blue, so looks pretty bitchin' with his blue hair.
Kind of pulling a page from DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf, or Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right, so next one, Chad.
Texans, Will Anderson Jr. had a high ankle sprain. I don't know if he's going to play in this game or not, but normally if it's a high ankle, he probably won't. So that's a big loss for them. We'll see how he does, though.
Yeah. Kansas City Chiefs. Travis Kelce was ruled out versus the Chargers after a coaching decision, so he's good to go. Wide receiver Justin Ross hamstring and offensive tackle Wanya Morris were also ruled out. But those guys, are they good to go now? Do you know?
Yeah. They were just resting the starters.
Okay, those were injuries from the week before. Gotcha.
Yeah, they have to in order to sit them out, they've got to list an injury.
Yeah, so they're probably fake. The Chiefs are cheaters.
Let's get into the Eagles, man. They had a few injuries.
Yeah, some big ones.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts, his finger popped out of place. Started pointing the other direction.
Yeah, it kind of had it looked like a cursive finger.
Yeah, like one of those guys that's broken in, and it's just permanently like that.
Yeah.
But it was on his throwing hand, so that is kind of significant. We'll see how much that affects him. And AJ Brown also hurt his knee. So Sirianni said that they're both going to be fine to play next week, but we'll see how good they are. I mean, they've lost 5 out of the last 6, so we'll see.
Yeah, but it's like we were talking about. They're getting the bodyguard back, so
Big Dom's coming back.
Yeah,
yep,
so,
that's gonna make a difference.
Did you mention Sidney Brown?
I didn't.
Yeah, so it sounds like he suffers a season-ending ACL injury, so bummer for him.
Yep,
he was having a breakout year. He had that big interception return the other week. So.
Yeah, like a 98, 97-yard interception return.
So,
Packers, Romeo Doubs had a chest injury.
Dang old chest, dude.
Yep, I think that's the only one for the Pack. Well, I know A.J. Dillon isn't playing this week due to a stinger. It's kind of scary because I think that's something that's been really nagging him, and so he must have some nerve kind of damage or something.
Yeah.
He's a big old boy, so he's taking some hits.
Yeah. Have we done the Dolphins yet?
No, that's the last one.
All right, let's go to the Dolphins. So, linebacker Cameron Good and linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel.
Yep.
Both ruled out. Cameron Good has a knee, Van Ginkel a foot. I just like saying Van Ginkel. They are both ruled out against the Bills.
They're also going to be without Jerome Baker, too, so they're out 3 linebackers.
Dang, man. So, I saw they signed somebody. Justin Houston and somebody else.
Yeah, I can't remember the other guy.
Shit,
Bruce Irving, I think was his name.
Oh, yeah,
don't know much about him.
So, yeah, those are the injuries for this week. Heading into the matchups, which we could talk about those real quick before we get into the rest of the news. I think that's really all we have aside from the coaches. So,
yeah, just the coaches left.
Let's talk about the NFL matchups this week.
All right, well, to start it off on Saturday, 2:30 Mountain Time, whatever local time you got started, that's what it's going to be in Mountain Time. The Texans will take on the Browns in Houston. This before we just go over this real quick, I just wanted to read this because it really seems like the script writers did a hell of a job this year.
Yeah.
In the first round of the playoffs, Stafford versus the Lions, Tyreek Hill versus the Chiefs, Texans versus the team they traded Deshaun Watson to, Mike McCarthy versus the Packers, and then Baker Mayfield ending the Eagles' seasons.
More than likely, if
Probably
they keep playing the way they were.
Yeah.
So.
Unbelievable. I mean, good. Hats off to them. If it is scripted, they did a good job.
Yeah, definitely. So did you run down the times of the games yet?
Just the Texans and Browns. That's a 2:30 Mountain Time, and then 6 p.m. Peacock only, Chiefs and Dolphins in Kansas City for a 0-degree game.
Yeah, I saw something about with the wind chill now. They're saying it might be like negative 20-something.
They're saying it could be the coldest game ever.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Perfect for Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, they're not going to like that. And then Sunday, we got the only one on Sunday for the AFC is the Steelers at the Buffalo Bills, 1 p.m. Eastern. So that's going to be 11 if you were in the Mountain time zone. And then NFC on Sunday, we have the Green Bay Packers at the Dallas Cowboys. That one is at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, so it's a 2:30 kickoff time here in the Mountain Time Zone. And then we got the Los Angeles Rams at the Detroit Lions Sunday night
Super
at
pumped for this
8:15.
game.
So 6:15 kickoff here in the Mountain Time Zone. And then the big one that could have the biggest upset, I think, in most recent memory in terms of what was expected of a team a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Philadelphia Eagles at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have to go on the road Monday, 8 p.m., so 6 o'clock for that kickoff. So big weekend in football, tons of huge storylines.
Playoffs are here.
The playoffs are here, and we've got more storylines as head coaches are dropping like flies.
Yep.
Things are happening.
Some hot seats.
Definitely. Chad, start us off with one.
All right. It happened right after, it was on Black Monday. Coach Rivera for the Commanders was let go.
Yep. Coach Rivera, they decided to finally part ways.
Yep.
That is probably one of the bigger jobs in terms of like desirability, because tons of money, tons of cap space,
and you look
lots of picks.
Josh Harris has done with other franchises too. The Sixers, there's a baseball team that he owns too. I can't remember which one it is. God damn it.
I can't remember now.
But I mean, he's made, the Sixers are real far in the playoffs every year. He puts money into them, puts people in the seats. So that, and they did keep Eric Bieniemy. So that's a real bummer. I was really hoping they'd let him go.
It's the New Jersey Devils. He doesn't own a baseball team.
Okay, that's what it is hockey.
I thought it was hockey.
But
yeah.
So we'll see who replaces him.
That's a big one. And then also on Black Monday, it was actually just Sunday night, Arthur Smith got fired after the debacle they had there, getting hammered by the Saints.
Yep.
And then his little explosion to Dennis Allen after the game, which was probably a little bit warranted to some degree, however you look at it.
It's
but
debatable.
At the same time, these guys are professionals, and who cares what you lose by? You get paid a bunch of money to do it.
I love Jameis Winston's interview on it. From what I've heard, it's team sport. He can't go out there and get the touchdown and push Jamal Williams into the end zone. It was a team effort. It was a team decision to score the touchdown. He goes into the huddle and asks, do you guys want to score, or do you just want to kneel it? And they wanted to get Jamal Williams a touchdown, and they got it for him. They faked the victory formation, which is kind of funny. But, yeah, good for him, man. I totally agree. I mean, these guys are professional athletes. They can't handle losing by more than 7 points. I mean, it was 41 to, 13 at that time, 17 or something. It's does that really make that big of a difference?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Not really.
Grow the hell up.
No, this one came yesterday. It was a bit of a surprise. Mike Vrabel let go rather than, they had an opportunity to possibly trade him to somebody, but they just decided to fire him.
They said it was going to be too complicated.
I don't know. Yeah, too complicated to upgrade your team somehow, while also still losing the coach you're going to fire anyway. So that one's got a lot of people wondering what's going to happen. It does sound like Vrabel might go back to the Patriots.
That's what we were going to talk about next.
Yeah, Josh McDaniels might be going back to the Patriots.
I heard that as well. So. Yeah, he's interested in
back
being
to daddy.
The offensive coordinator. It sounds like the gang's trying to come back together because so far Belichick hasn't been let go. He's in a state of limbo. He did say Monday in a press conference that he is willing to release the personnel duties because he basically is the GM and coach there. So if they get a GM, and then we could see the old school, maybe Vrabel defensive coordinator, and then Josh McDaniels offensive coordinator. I mean, it could look like an old Patriots team.
Hell, get Matt Patricia back. What are we doing?
Yeah, get everybody back. Brady goes back.
Yeah, Brady will come out of retirement. It is what it is.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
But we had some insane news today.
Big ones.
Yeah, that came out. Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks decide to mutually kind of part ways.
Yep.
This was 2 days after Pete Carroll came out and said that he wanted to stay the head coach of the Seahawks and was intending to come back. Apparently, after some meetings yesterday, I'm assuming, they seem to have come to a disagreement or something that was not I guess, repairable in terms of him being the head coach. He is going to return in some sort of like advisory role.
Advisor, yep.
I don't know, but if you ask me, I think this could be leading up to, and I'm going to go a little hot take here. I think this could be a prelude to possibly Jim Harbaugh going there.
Maybe. Who knows?
And I'll tell you why.
Why?
He doesn't want to go to the AFC and go play against his brother or have to possibly,
Maybe
lose
he
to
wants
his
to.
brother. I don't think they do. That's why he went to, San Fran last time.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's my little hot take, and I
That
just
could
wanted
be.
to play this real quick.
It is a hot take.
That's a hot take.
That's right. So that's my hot take of the night. I think possibly that might be lining up for Jim Harbaugh. I think maybe Jim was like, "Hey, I'll come there,"
Yep.
and then they're like, "Hey, Pete, get out of here."
Oh, that does kind of make sense. I would much rather see Jim Harbaugh in the NFC than I would the AFC.
Well,
that's
and
for sure.
especially with Eberflus now being told that he's staying
Mm-hmm.
in Chicago, which I think was the other place that I thought for sure Harbaugh would want to go just because he played there. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah,
It's tough to
I'm
tell.
interested to see. But they did fire Luke Getsy, the offensive coordinator,
They
for the old Chicago Bears. There.
Yeah,
So
it's not. And if they're keeping Eberflus, that means they're probably keeping Justin Fields. So they'll probably be drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. number 1.
maybe, yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how it goes.
It
'cause
sure will be.
A lot of people are thinking it's quarterbacks the top 3 picks. So
Yeah, it more than likely.
who the
might.
hell knows anymore?
Oh yeah, we never do. But the other vacancy is one that came during the season, and that's the Panthers. And we have yet to see who they're going to hire. I haven't heard to see who they're interviewing or requesting to interview, but that's so far what we got. That's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, and don't forget the
5,
Chargers.
6. Yep, and the Chargers. So
Yeah.
6. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6 vacancies so far.
Yeah.
Last year I think there was 8.
Yeah, and there still could be a couple more. You never know.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen with Belichick.
Yeah, so we'll see how that plays out.
I think that's it for
That's it for
NFL.
the NFL. I think it's time to get into the old NBA. So let's hit them with a little bit of this.
Take it roll! Take it roll! Outlet! Outlet! Rain dance! Sandy, come on! Sandy!
T! I'm burning. I need to burn.
You watched that movie yet?
No, I still need to do it.
so
I
funny.
keep forgetting about it.
Good old Jennifer Aniston.
Well, big news today. Kawhi and the Clippers agree to a 3-year, $153 million extension, which pays him $52 million the first year and $50 million for the next 2 years. Apparently, there's an extra $1 million in there. I don't know where that goes.
That is a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
To only play 60 games a year, probably.
Yeah, that's the big thing. He is not the healthiest of players. You're basically, like Chad just said, maybe you get over a half a year from him if you're lucky. I think this is the first year he's played like 27 games straight in a while. So
Yeah, he's definitely missed some recently due to a few different injuries, but I think he's back in there now.
But yeah, so Kawhi now there for for the foreseeable future. The Clippers are also continuing talks with Paul George on an extension as well. So
They've got so much money on that starting roster between
Yeah.
him, Westbrook, Harden, all those guys. Unbelievable.
who cares? You
It's
know,
not gonna-
it's just money.
Yep, luxury tax, whatever. All right. And also today, Eric Spoelstra got paid as well, the head coach of the Miami Heat,
Yeah.
not Dolphins. 8 years, $120 million. Totally deserving. He's got that team in the playoffs every year, no matter injuries. I mean, took him to the finals last year with Tyler Hero getting hurt in the first round.
Yeah, and we figured it out this morning. That's $15 million a year. He is the highest paid head coach in NBA history. And also, I don't know if you know this, but the Heat did him a solid as they wait to finalize this deal until his divorce just finalized this last week. So
Are you
did
for
him a little
real?
bit of a solid and kept all that money out of his wife's hands.
That's insane.
So-
Oh, man. That's fucking crazy. Well, they knew what they were doing there, and he might have just, requested a little favor, we can
I have
wait.
a feeling they probably knew about
Oh, I'm
this
sure
for a while.
they did. It just, Wow,
But
that's
yeah.
pretty interesting.
So
That's crazy.
That's pretty hilarious. So
Yeah.
I heard that earlier, and then I saw the report on it. I was like, "Damn, dude, did him a solid."
That divorce lawyer is going to be
Yeah, he's
pissed.
like, fuckers.
His hands are
He's like,
tied.
my percentage would have been so much higher. Damn it.
Fucking heat.
Big news in the Memphis zone. Ja Morant done for the year after suffering a shoulder injury in practice on Saturday. Will need surgery to repair a torn labrum. The team was 6-3 with him since returning from his 25-game suspension, and now we will see what they will be like without him for the rest of the year.
They were 6-19 before he came back, so I wonder. I bet they're going to go back to that.
Yeah, probably. So
Yep.
it's not looking good for them. Probably going to miss the playoffs this year without some sort of miracle from whoever's left on that team right now. So
Yeah. Couple other injuries to hit. Tyrese Halliburton did the splits a couple nights ago. He slipped when he tried to plant. He planted his left leg, and then his right one just kept going and straight up to gymnastics split, and then pulled his hamstring. He's going to be out at least 2 weeks.
Yeah, so he hasn't been watching Bloodsport enough.
Yep.
He needs to work on his splits.
You
with
gotta
Jean-Claude.
stretch.
Yeah,
Yep.
so you
Yep.
got to get your splits on. So bummer for them, as he is probably up there in the MVP conversation this year. I know his assists this year have been insane.
He'd probably be like 7 or 8 on it, I'd say.
Yeah, so bummer for the Pacers. What else you guys? That it? Chad's watching the Kansas game.
God damn, they're only up by
UCF
1. It's
coming
frustrating.
back.
Just playing like dog shit. Let's see. Yeah, Chris Paul broke his hand again. I didn't know this, but apparently he's broken each of his hands multiple times. I can't remember how many surgeries he's had, but it's like upwards of 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's crazy. He got
Yeah.
weak hands.
And he's gonna be out around 5 weeks at least.
Steph Curry's got weak ankles. Chris Paul's got weak hands.
Yep, he's got little tiny hands too.
Little baby hands.
Yep. All right, well, let's run down. Now that we're at 35 games, most of the teams, other than the Nuggets, who play a little more than everybody else, they're at 38 games. We're real close to the halfway point of the season, so we're going to run over the top 4 in each conference. I'll take our Western Conference. We got number 1, Minnesota Timberwolves. They retook the first spot the other night. And then in second place, Oklahoma City Thunder, shocking everyone, but playing damn good ball this year. And then our Denver Nuggets at 26-12 at the third spot. And then the Clippers have climbed all the way up to the 4th spot, right behind the Nuggets, 2.5 games back from first place. And yeah, then we got the Kings and Mavericks to round out the top 6.
Yeah, the Thunder are looking like they are the dark horse team of this year in terms of like what people expected. I mean, everybody thought with SGA and what's his name?
Chet Holmgren.
Chet Holmgren, damn it. Playing together now with Holmgren healthy, that they were going to be good, but I don't think anybody saw this. I mean, they're 7-3 in their last 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
They are really good at home. And they're just really good. So
They beat the Nuggets here, and they also beat the Celtics the other day.
yeah, we were talking about it the other day at work. I would not want to face them in the first round.
Not in the first round, maybe in the second. I just feel like I feel confident with the Nuggets at any team, just because it's so hard in basketball for them to play up here.
Yeah,
Mile
but
High.
that just wouldn't be a fun first round. So
Oh yeah, they would put up a fight. That's for sure. 'Cause they don't have anything to lose. That's just it.
no,
All
they're
the
playing
pressure.
with house money.
Yep.
So if they
That's
make it
right.
into the playoffs, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh my god!"
You want to run down the
Yeah,
Eastern
I'll
Conference?
run it down, dude. Don't rush me.
All right,
I'm over here
cool. Didn't know if you had it
making
pulled
things
up, man.
dude.
Come on, man.
So in the Eastern Conference, we have the Boston Celtics once again sitting at the top, 28-8, sitting heartily in first place. They're 3 games ahead of the Milwaukee Bucks, who are 25-12. In third place, you've got the Philadelphia 76ers, 23-12. In fourth, we have the Knicks sitting at 22-15, and then the Heat are in fifth, 21-15, and the Pacers also tied basically with the Heat at 21.
Did you say the Knicks were at the third spot?
No, Knicks are fourth. Oh, did I? Somehow
I
I
think
did
it's
that.
the Heat, right? That's what I'm showing here. Let me refresh it. Yeah.
I just refreshed
Wow.
mine. Boston, Milwaukee,
No.
Sixers, Knicks, Miami, and Pacers.
I think this is pulled up from yesterday. I think the
Oh,
Knicks must
it
have took their
changed.
spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that can happen when
Yep.
you record the next day after
Just
shit
in
happens.
one night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Knicks have taken the Heat spot.
Knicks are cruising on up. So that is where the Eastern Conference is rounding out.
All right.
Hearthstoner. I saw that Jamar Chase said that he hopes anybody but the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. I feel more confident now. Laugh out loud.
Who said that?
Hearthstoner.
Yeah, I still don't know who that is.
Oh, damn it.
Ask him who they are. I wonder if it's Travis.
He'll probably mention it here in a little bit because he's watching. It's
They
Juice.
said- Oh, he said. What did he say though?
He saw that Jamar Chase said that he hopes that anybody but the Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
I see.
He feels more confident now.
Yeah. Jamar Chase really hates the Chiefs.
He needs to stop it because he's just like jinxing it.
Yeah, and he's just making himself look bad because, like Kelsey said, man, you know, you're gonna talk your shit, but you gotta back it up.
Yeah, that's true, and they haven't.
Yep. All right. Well, let's get into a different sport.
Let's do it. You want to go to the NHL right now?
Yeah, let's do the NHL. We got a couple news pieces to hit.
All right, it's time for the NHL. I'm going to start it out. William Nylander signs a $92 million 8-year deal with the Maple Leafs. It is the largest contract they have given to any player. He will now be with the Maple Leafs until 2032. So they lock up their guy for a while, and they paid him in
That's
terms
good.
of the NHL.
Oh yeah, payday for him, man.
In
All right.
terms of most other sports, that's not that much
Yeah.
money, but
But for hockey, that's good money.
yeah.
Connor Bedard, the phenom, the kid, for the Blackhawks, broke his jaw and had to have surgery on it, and is going to be out 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, it did kind of look like a dirty hit. I saw
Yeah,
it.
it
He
was.
caught him up high, right in the side of the face, and he dropped right away, and you could tell something bad happened. That is a definite bummer for them, as he was having a breakout year. And I think he's gonna end up missing the All-Star game as well because of that.
I imagine so.
They do it in the
Yeah.
middle of the year like the NBA.
Yeah.
So that is a bummer for them. Other news, the Flyers trade their top prospect, Cutter Gauthier, to the Anaheim Ducks for Jamie Drysdale and a 2025 second-round pick because he just flat out told them, I don't want to play for you guys. So they just gave him
Wow.
the benefit of the doubt and just traded him away. So
Seems like some people really hate being in Philly. I don't know what's up with that.
yeah, you know, they threw snowballs at Santa Claus that one time. I don't remember that.
You can't fuck with Santa Claus,
You can't.
man.
You really
It's
can't.
not cool.
What's the other one you got, Chad?
All right. The Winnipeg Jets extend their streak to 30 consecutive games, allowing 3 goals or less.
That's pretty impressive.
That is really impressive when you think about how many times sometimes the Avs give up like 6 goals. We got to mention their goalies. Laurent Brossoit. I don't. It's got to be a French Canadian name.
Brossoit.
Brossoit.
Laurent
thank you.
Brossoit.
Yep. And then Connor Hellebuck. Yeah, obviously the rest of the defensemen and everybody like that are doing a hell of a job. But yeah, that is impressive. 30 games, 3 goals or less.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Speaking of the Avs, they are having an issue with goalies.
Yeah, and they have a big game tonight we could preview. They're taking on the Golden Knights,
Yep.
a team they've struggled with quite a bit here lately, but they do have a better record and more points than the Golden Knights.
Yeah, they do. And we'll run down the I'm just going to go to the top teams for each division.
Do it, Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to right now. So in the Atlantic, we have the Boston Bruins. They are sitting at 24 wins, 8 losses, 56 points. Then in the Metropolitan Division, we have the New York Rangers. They have 26 wins, 11 losses, sitting at 54 points. And then in the Central Division, the Jets, as Chad was just talking about them, they are at 27 wins, 9 losses, 58 points. And in the Pacific, we have the Vancouver Canucks sitting at 27 wins, 11 losses, and 57 points. So yeah, the Golden Knights are right behind them. So with a win tonight, if they beat the Avs, they could possibly be tied for first by tomorrow. So
It could be, but that's not going to happen because the Avs are going to win. The Avs are 17-5 at home.
Oh, I just lied to you guys. I'm sorry. I was looking at games played. They are 4 games behind the Canucks. So, but the Avs with a win tonight will be tied for first. So,
hell yeah! All right, you want to talk about this Natty?
The Natty.
Yep.
The Natty from
Let me hear
Cincinnati.
some Adam Sandler.
All right, let me get it for you real quick.
390. Check. Check. Red 18. Red 18. Needle dick. Needle dick. Needle dick.
Such an explosion of violence.
Before we get into the Natty, should we talk about the Giant news that happened today?
Yeah, we can. I was going to finish with that, but it doesn't matter. We can start with that.
Well, let's just start with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Already
It's
brought it up.
huge news, man. On my way home from work, I had to text Chris because there was breaking news that came out.
Yep.
Nick Saban has retired from football.
Yeah, we're all pretty blown away by it, but we were talking about it a little bit. I think he's just tired of the way things are going. He doesn't like it. It's not as fair.
He's very outspoken that he
It's
didn't
not
like
as fair that it's unfair that
Yeah.
you can't have it unfair anymore.
before NIL and before transfer portal was as popular. Alabama was the school to go to. If no one's ever seen or you want to, YouTube Alabama workout room, Alabama football facilities, you will be blown away at how high tech and just nice this is. The boosters really take care of that. That's why there were so many players, and that's why they always got their best players. They've had Heisman Trophy winners, Devontae Smith, Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, galore. But now the NIL and transfer portal is more of a popular thing. Nick Saban in the playing field's been leveled.
Yeah, and he doesn't like it, and that's why I think he's retiring.
Yep.
But he is going to go down as the greatest college football head coach of all time. It's been 17 seasons now after he resigned from the Miami Dolphins and decided to go back to college, and he's been at home there for quite a while. He's won 201 games. He tied with Vince Dooley from Georgia for the second most wins all time at a single school in SEC history, behind only Bear Bryant, who won 232 games in his 25 seasons with Alabama. So, yeah.
Yeah, pretty crazy. I'm just really interested in who's going to take his spot because they're going to have to bring. Alabama is going to try to bring in the biggest name possible.
Yeah, watch out, Colorado.
Yeah,
Dion might be coming.
Yeah, I
just
doubt
kidding.
that.
I don't think so. But.
Yeah, but it's gonna. I don't know. I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised if they hire within. I know what's his face. Went to the Giants. Then he went back to the Patriots. He was the offensive coordinator for Mac Jones. I can't think of his fucking name right now.
Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien.
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
they'll hire him back. It's tough.
Yeah, who knows? But we'll see whoever it is, if they can continue what Nick Saban did, winning 9 conference crowns and 6 more national championships. So,
And he won a national championship with LSU, too.
that's true. So one of the greatest college coaches of all times. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to it. Monday night, we had what we thought was going to be a really good game, and it was. Going into the fourth quarter, Washington was taking on Michigan, both undefeated teams. It was a 7-point game in the fourth quarter, and just like so many of Michigan's games this year, it would be close the first 3 quarters, and to me, they are a prime example of a football team that is that heavyweight boxer that's going to, play around with you and, hit back and forth and then drag you to the late rounds and then knock you out.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Well, and with their run game, I mean, to stick with the boxing analogies, it's just body blows all game long.
That's it, man.
And, yeah, Blake Corum gets 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. He runs for 134 yards. And Michigan just won in the trenches on both sides, and that's where, all these teams, especially in the college football playoffs, you have to be built strong there. Georgia was the year before, and now you have Michigan with just one of the best offensive lines in college football and the best defensive line in college football, and they pushed Washington around all game.
They really did. I mean, I could not believe. I mean, it was right from the get-go. They had 108 yards rushing, I think, in the first quarter. They ended with 303 on the ground, averaging 8 yards per rush. I mean, it was just a complete onslaught on the line of scrimmage. I think the offensive line and defensive line, but particularly the offensive line, really wanted to make a statement because 2 years ago, Michigan won the award for best offensive line. And then I think it's the last 2 years, Washington has won that award.
Yeah.
And, offensive line that don't get much credit, you don't ever get in the limelight, that's a big award. They take a lot of pride in that. So I think that's another reason why Michigan really wanted to come out and make a statement on the line of scrimmage. And their running backs were just running free. I mean, they showed a stat that was like yards before contact. And, when you have so much yards even before contact, that's just a credit to the offensive line. That's huge holes, big gaps where they're not even getting touched.
Yeah, and Donovan Edwards, the other running back, 6 carries, 104 yards, also had 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
So, J.J. McCarthy did not have to do much. He was 10 for 18 for 140 yards, but they just bludgeoned him to death running. J.J. McCarthy even had 4 carries for 31 yards. So they ran all over Washington, and across the other side, Washington could not run the ball. Their running back, Dylan Johnson, was obviously suffering. I think it's a knee injury he had or something that he was trying to play through.
I can't remember what it was.
He was definitely a shell of himself. He couldn't even hit the holes that were wide open. He was, running out of juice 3 steps into any run that night. He ends up with 11 carries for 33 yards, and it all fell on Michael Penix Jr.'s shoulders to try and to win this game, and he goes 27 for 51. That's an insane amount of passes.
So much. And, it's like what I talked to you about at work, man. Like, I just couldn't believe it, where I think they just resorted to almost like what you see in Madden, to where someone's just, like, getting beat, and they know they're beat, so they just keep throwing the ball up over and over. They weren't running slants. They weren't running outs or posts or anything. It was just go routes and tossing them up, 50-50 balls, and none of them were connecting with any of his star wide receivers. And I think it's because he was getting hit. He was, like you said, holding his ribs there for a while. He got his ankle rolled up on. He was hurt, and so I think it was in desperation mode early.
Yeah. Even with that many attempts, I mean, he still only had 255 yards passing with 1 touchdown.
Yep.
The 1 touchdown was to Jalen Polk, who ended up with 4 receptions for 37 yards. But even the 2 big wide receivers, Rome Odunze and Jack Westover, Odunze ends up with 5 receptions for 87 yards. Westover, 5 receptions for 42 yards. So he just wasn't completing the ball, and you were saying he was getting just hammered every time he dropped back.
So much, man.
And at one point, he's getting up, he's holding his ribs the whole time. So I think he definitely was suffering from an injury, and was just trying to gut it out. Unfortunately, he could not. In the last, they were driving, and they ended up getting that pass interference call. And then the interception happened, and then that was it.
Yeah, that pretty much. I didn't realize the interception return took them back so far. But, yeah, after I saw that interception, I turned it off, and it's just unfortunate. I mean, they really tried their best, but, I mean, that Michigan defense is for real. They to me, are the defining example of hard-nosed football. They're going to come there, hit you in the mouth, run the ball. I think J.J. McCarthy only passed the ball 17 times. He was 10 of 17.
18.
Okay, excuse me. Left one out.
Yeah,
but it's just like that's hard-nosed football, man. Smash mouth football. I love it. I got a lot of respect for it. But, first championship for them since 97. And in 97, they had to share the title with maybe Nebraska. Was it Nebraska?
I can't remember.
But either way, they were sharing the title, and so this is their first outright title in 48 years.
Yeah, and now enjoy it, Michigan, because your coach is gone. I'm pretty sure he's leaving.
Yep, there ain't no doubt about that. He's tired. These coaches are tired of all the red tape in college.
Well, and just the NCAA in and of itself just needs to get out of college football. I don't even know what it really does anymore.
No,
so
they need to break these conferences up into divisions like the
or just do one big super conference like 60 teams.
Yeah, whatever it takes. I don't know. I still say I think it'd be great to almost have like a March Madness type tournament at the end of the season with like 32 teams or something. Like you don't need to have the regular season maybe so long. Break it to only 8 games or something. That'll decide some seeding. Who knows? But I think they're far from the finished product. Even Paul Feinbaum criticized this sport for not knowing what the hell they're doing right now. He said it yesterday on First Take.
Yeah, and the college is going to have some issues coming down the pike with the NIL and stuff. I think that have yet
They
to
passed
rear
some
the-
new rules today. Did you
I
see
missed
that?
I missed what they were.
I
But
read
did
into it
see
just
that.
a little bit, but it's going to save players from basically getting swindled by agents and other stuff kind of like that.
Oh yeah, because there was that guy. I can't remember. He was a college player, obviously. Signed an NIL deal that gave the people rights to money from his contract when he signed to become pro.
Oh, wow.
There was like a stipulation that we're gonna give you this money now, but we're gonna take 3% of whatever your total earnings are for the NFL, and he didn't realize it and just signed it.
Oh, damn.
And so it turned into this whole thing.
You got to read the fine print.
Yeah, you really do sometimes. It'll come up and bite you in the ass. So.
That's right. Well, real quick before we move on from college, I just want to mention last night in college basketball, number 1 Purdue fell to Nebraska, and then number 2 Houston fell to Iowa State. So we had some big upsets last night.
And Houston just moved into number 2. What was it, yesterday
Just
or Monday night?
yeah,
I guess probably
whatever they do Sunday. Yeah, but they're in the Big 12 now, and then they go up against Iowa State. And they kind of realize oh shit, this is what the Big 12 is all about. Because BYU lost last night to Baylor as well.
Brigham Young.
Yep. But then tonight we're watching KU, like we said, take on UCF, who's now in the Big 12, and they're having a hard time with UCF, down by 3 and with 10 minutes left to go in the game. So
We'll see if they can pull it out.
all right, but that should wrap it up.
Yeah, it's going to wrap it up for college sports. I did want to hit one thing in golf because I just think it was pretty wild, and there's some cool stats to go along with it. So let's get the golf soundbite going now.
Son of a bitch, ball. Why didn't you just go home? That's your home. Are you too good for your home? Answer me.
I like how we got Adam Sandler for a lot of our bits.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, but he made some good sports movies.
A
Unfortunately,
lot of
for
quotable
people.
movies.
So Tiger and Nike in their partnership after 27 years. Tiger first signed in '96 for $40 million, and then signed another 5-year, $85 million endorsement deal in 2000, which was an unprecedented amount at the time. In total, he made $181 million from Nike, and they made over 57% of their investment back on Tiger Woods on golf ball sales alone from 2000 to 2010.
Damn. He
But-
made them a lot of money.
Yeah, in 2016, though, Nike did kind of back away from golf a little bit. They quit making equipment, so to speak, but they were still signing golfers and making, I think they were still making golf balls, obviously, and golf wear. So, but now, yeah, there's a lot of guys. Even Jason Day just recently got out of Nike, and he's signing with another sportswear company. So it just did seem like that was coming to an end anyways. But yeah, it was just a big thing to have come to an end, because that was the beginning of insane sports money, was Tiger Woods, really.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was iconic, the red shirt and the black hat with the Nike swoosh.
So not going to be a Nike swoosh on that red shirt when he does make it to Sundays the next time he actually does. So
Yeah.
But that is it for headlines.
That's it.
That's it. So
I'm ready
it
to hear
is
some tunes,
time
man.
for some tunage. If you are watching the stream live, we will be back in 5 minutes. But if you are watching or listening after the fact, you are about to hear Flight Kamikaze. The name of this song is Babble On. If you haven't yet, please go check out Flight Kamikaze. They are a rad punk band from Denver, Colorado. Best way I can describe it, it's kind of like Coheed and Cambria with a punk tinge.
That's
to
a really good definition
Yeah.
of it. Yeah.
So check out Babble On. We will be right back here in just a second. And we are back for the final time of this episode 67 of Fringe Fanatics. If you are listening after the fact, you just heard Flight Kamikaze. The name of that song is Babble On. If you haven't yet, please go check them out. Like I mentioned before, they are a really cool Denver band. You can find them on flightkamikaze.bandcamp.com. You can go and download their music, find out where you can purchase their music. They did have a new album come out just recently that is on there to be purchased as well. So go support them. We appreciate it. And as always, make sure to check them out, give them a like and follow, and hopefully their fans do the same for us.
That's right.
Yep. So anyways, it is now time for the NFL Deep Dives. Let us get into it.
Hey, I'm a very family. Check, check. Now that's football. You get it? You get it? You like it?
That is football. You get it, you like it, you love it, and we love it here. And it is now time for the NFL Deep Dives. I started us off last week. It is now Chad's turn to take the reins and take us on a dive that is deep.
It is, and it will be deep.
So
and it's the
deep.
last dive of the regular season.
Yeah, this is it. Now it's going to be playoffs, so
Yeah.
take us into it, Chad.
All right, I'm covering the Jacksonville at Tennessee game. Tennessee won 20-28, and what I'm calling the bid the farewell to King Henry game.
Yeah, he's gone
It
now.
was, pretty much his last game, and you could tell when he gave a speech after the game, thanking the fans, and he did a lot of wholesome things there. All right, but this, just a little quick, since, we don't really see running backs like we have for the Titans in a long time, with Derrick Henry having an 8-year span there, and what he's done there. I mean, you might be lucky to see a running back for 3 years at a place. So just a quick little homage to Derrick Henry. Because they play Jacksonville, let's just talk about him versus Jacksonville in his career. In 15 games versus the Jaguars, he's accumulated over 1,500 yards. It's over 100 yards per game. And then you start looking at it. He's at 108 yards per game against the AFC South alone. So when it comes to divisional opponents, he shows up. He's at 9,502 for his career. He's at 30, which places him 35th all-time, passing Earl Campbell. That's just crazy to think. That really puts into perspective how long Emmitt Smith was doing what he did and some of those other guys at the top. Just to think Derrick Henry's had an incredible 8 years, multiple 200-yard games.
He's actually tied for the most with sixth with Adrian Peterson and O.J. Simpson.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, he's had a lot, but still only 35th. That's crazy. But we'll see whether he does the rest of his career. I'm excited to see where he goes. Hopefully now we're in the AFC next year.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, but let's get to the game. With the season on the line, the Jags couldn't get it done. The outcome could have turned out differently, but Trevor Lawrence was missing throws just all over the place. He missed Ridley, who was wide open, and then Evan Ingram on a 4th and 2 with the game on the line just totally missed him. Trevor Lawrence has been battling some injuries. Maybe that's what affected it. I don't know. But, if it was affecting that bad, you would think he would just try to take the bullet and not play that game because you did more harm than good for your team. It was fitting for Derrick Henry to have a huge game as his last game as a Titan because he went 19 for 153 yards. Hell of a game. The Titans had a big goal line stand to stop Trevor Lawrence on a 4th and goal QB sneak. It was actually really interesting. There's about 7 minutes left in the game, and he tried stretching the ball out and pulling it back like Brady kind of made famous, but he pulled it back too soon. He came just inches from the plane. And then, of course, the ball popped out, but it was no good anyway. So the Titans took over on the 1. What I can really take away from this downfall of the Jags is I did not think that losing Christian Kirk would hurt this team as much. But really, when they lost him is when the downfall started.
Yeah, well, and also a lot of people are saying it started when they waved the terrible towel around after they beat the Steelers. It's the curse of the terrible towel. So.
There might be some juju, and karma there. But yeah, it's something, because it is kind of ironic that happens, and then right afterward, and to even think, if people didn't realize too, after they did that, they go on their losing streak and miss the playoffs, and because they lose and miss the playoffs, nice one. I didn't know we had that one. When did you have that one?
That's the tinfoil hat thing.
Ah, sweet.
We
got to do it, man. We need to make a tinfoil hat.
You know what we need to do? Quit talking about it and just do it.
Exactly. Just
Anyways,
like the podcast.
Continue.
But, yeah, I mean, so they wave around the terrible towel, go on a losing streak, and then when they lose in the final week, guess who that elevates to the playoffs? The Steelers. Yeah, karma's a bitch.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but it's just because they lost, the Bills didn't have to worry about being eliminated in the playoffs, and now the Jags totally missed the playoffs, and the Texans end up winning that division.
Yeah, we were talking about just how crazy it is. All the Jags could do was either win their division or be out of the playoffs.
Miss the playoffs.
So
it's wild how that works out. The AFC was crazy this year.
Yeah, and then you have the AFC North, which had every team with a winning percentage that was over 500.
Yeah, first time it's ever been done.
No, I think it happened once in like the 30s or something. It was a long time ago. But yeah, it's still insane. The AFC's tough this year.
It is really wild.
So, yeah. Is that it for you?
Yep, that's it for that game, man.
All right, well, let's get into mine. I decided to deep dive the Bears at 7-10 versus the Packers at 9-8. The Packers win this game 17-9. They entered the final week of the NFL in a win-and-you're-in situation, a familiar situation. When you compare it to last year, when the Rodgers-led Packers lost to the Lions 2016 in what would be his final game as a Packer. Flash forward to this year, and his successor Jordan Love is at the helm. He's entering the game on a roll since week 9, where he has been one of the best QBs in the league. He has completed 210 out of 313 passes for a 67.1% completion percentage, for 2,350 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, all to go along with a passer rating of 105.5. So Jordan Love has been balling out of control.
Yep.
He is looking like he may be the real successor. So.
In his first full season as a starter for the Packers, he is already better than all the Bears quarterbacks in history.
Yeah,
that's insane. That's just unbelievable to me.
It really is insane, and yet they continue to be the Bears' daddy. It's not even just Aaron Rodgers anymore.
That's right.
Sunday, Jordan Love continued his onslaught, proving that the Packers may be better off than we all thought they would be. Love goes 27 for 32, 316 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and the Packers never punted the ball. He did have a fumble on offense when they were driving, but that was the only real blemish on his game. After the Bears started out the first quarter with a field goal, they got another in the second, but that's when Love shot them through the heart. That's a little shot through the heart. You know but he hit Dontavian Wicks for a 10-yard touchdown that put them ahead for good, 7-6. He found the rookie 5th-round pick again in the third for another 12-yard touchdown. Wicks ended up with 6 receptions for 61 yards to go with those 2 tutties, and wide receiver Jaden Reed was the leading receiver in this game. He had 4 receptions for 112 yards, and Bo Melton was right behind him with 5 receptions for 62 yards, and he also had a touchdown that was reviewed and eventually erased as he did not maintain possession. The Packers did have a couple hiccups. They get 2 for 4 in the red zone with the drops from Melton and another one from Dobbs. Kickers Anders Carlson missed a field goal, and the Packers had a rough sequence that cost them another field goal opportunity right before the half. On the other side of things, the offensive line had been playing great as Love was only sacked once, and Aaron Jones ran for 111 yards on 22 carries. He also had 5 receptions for 30 yards, so Aaron Jones is returning to form at the right time right before the playoffs, as this is his 3rd week in a row with over 100 yards at nearly 6 yards per carry. And coming into this game, the Bears had only allowed 3.7 yards per carry, one of the few things the Bears have done right this year.
Yeah, their defense has been pretty good since like week 6.
Yeah, that's about it because the offense doesn't really do much. So, switching the gears to the Bears, a team that's on the opposite end of the spectrum compared to the Packers. They now enter the offseason wondering if Fields is the guy. Fields went 11 for 16 for 148 yards, but can never get the Bears across the threshold of the end zone, even though they made it into Green Bay territory on all 6 of their series. He was also sacked 5 times and managed 27 yards on 8 carries. He did manage mistake-free football in the sense of turnovers, though, so I guess that's the one bright spot for him. But the Bears clearly have an offensive line problem, and when you look at sacks, granted some are on Fields, and the production of the running backs, it's apparent. Herbert, 12 carries on 28 yards.
Wow, not good numbers.
And was the leading rusher. And Rashawn Johnson came in last with 5 carries for 20 yards behind Fields. Clearly, Fields needs to work on his passing. He wants to run and just, rather than hang in the pocket, and that's his biggest downfall.
He does. He holds on to the ball forever. He took 5 sacks in that game, right?
Yeah. They brought in DJ Moore to be his number 1, and there's rumblings that he has not been happy with the way he's been used. He finishes the day with 4 receptions for 64 yards. It's hard to have a number 1, though, when you don't really throw the ball. So
yeah, they just don't have a good offense.
No.
And their offense was let go, right? Like you mentioned earlier, their offensive coordinator.
Yeah, so Luke Getsy does get fired. He is the scapegoat for this year. The Bears now enter the 24 draft with the number 1 overall pick from Carolina, and that awesome trade that Carolina did, and their own number 9 pick. And the big decision: trade the number 1 pick and keep Fields in order to build around him, or trade Fields from our draft capital and take Caleb Williams number 1 and build around him. On the other hand, the Packers have made the playoffs for the first time without someone named Favre or Rodgers since 1992.
Yep.
And will be taking on the Cowboys, their former head coach, Mike McCarthy, in the wild card round this weekend, as we stated.
Game.
So,
Juicy game.
We'll see
I
how
think
it goes.
Jordan Love finished 2nd in passing TDs this year, too.
He might have. I didn't see what his totals were. But,
sure.
Nonetheless.
It's a hell of a season.
Yeah, pretty incredible for after last year when he got those couple starts for the Packers. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, what are we going to do?"
He improved over the last 6 to 8 weeks, man. He looked a lot better.
Yeah, so that is going to wrap it up for the deep dives. We are this week going to do a little bit of a rec center, though, so we're going to get into that right now. Yep. All right, so
Jayhawks.
Oh no, they're pulling away. They're
over. Playing like shit tonight. Everybody's
You gotta
scared
hit
to
a
shoot
three.
the ball. Oh my God, that was weak.
Shoot it.
Come on, please
Shoot
make it. Yes, down within 3. All right,
16 and a half seconds
Thank
left.
God, we
You
got.
got to foul them. Hope they
Yeah.
miss it. All right, I'm going to start out this week's Rec Center. Me and Meryl decided to start watching this new show on Peacock called The Geography of Bliss. It is a show with Rainn Wilson, and we all know him from The Office, a.k.a. Dwight Schrute. It's a show where he kind of talks about his struggles with happiness and the fact that, even though he's had all these things, he's still not happy. And so he starts traveling around the world to places that are, generally happy, or, like the nation or the country itself has a high rate of happiness, and starts talking to the people to see, why or what the deal is. And more often than not, he ends up finding out that they're still unhappy too, but they just find ways to deal with it in different ways.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty interesting show, and it was a good watch. So it's one of those feel-good kind of shows that's a nice break from some of the other stuff we watch.
Oh yeah, and it tackles some real shit because I haven't watched it before from what you've told me about it, and it's just important that they address this stuff, because we've seen too many times where these guys, where you see these pictures of Robin Williams or Mac Miller and stuff like that, and you're like, this is what depression looks like, because not a lot of people realize that everybody's dealing with shit, and it's just cool that they talk about it.
Yeah.
And so other people out there don't feel like they're alone.
Yeah, definitely. So I would recommend it. It is on Peacock. You can watch all of the episodes as they are all available. But what is yours this week, Chad?
I am going to recommend an album. Boz came out with the new album. He is a rapper.
Boz Scaggs?
Who?
Boz Scaggs?
I don't know who that is. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay.
He's an American musician. Okay.
All right. I didn't know. Yeah. Okay. Well, this guy is a rapper. It's just Boz. And he's
B-O-Z?
Yeah, B-A-S. He's a Sudanese American rapper. He's signed to J. Cole's Dreamville Records. If anybody is a fan of J. Cole and listens to the Dreamville Records or Dreamville albums, they've heard him featured on many songs, but he came out with a solo album where he has quite a few handfuls of features on it. There's 2 features with J. Cole. There's a really good song with FKJ, French Kiwi Juice, if you guys aren't aware. Really good kind of like jazzy instrumental stuff, but he puts some rhymes to it. Really good album. I love everything coming out of Dreamville. I listen to it nonstop. And yeah, I think you guys will really dig it. Check out Boz. The album's called We Only Talk About Real Shit When We're Fucked Up.
Oh, that's a good name. Good title for an album.
Right to the point.
That's wild. That guy's name's French Kiwi Juice.
That's the name of the guy. He's like I don't know what you call him. He's a musician. He does some really good. His visuals are really sick. But he goes by FKJ, and that's what's featured on Boz's album.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to check it out because of his name. That's the main reason why. But
he's the one song I like on there a lot is Home Alone. Yeah, it's really good. It's got J. Cole on it.
Featuring Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, I wish. They do reference Home Alone.
All right, so those are our rec centers for this week. If you are looking for something to watch or listen to, go and check those out. But now it is time, as it is every week. Oh!
Unfortunate. That's good.
Wait.
Oh, no, they're up by 5. They're
shit.
Possession.
Oh, never mind.
Airballed it.
So yeah,
they're
now
storming the court. That's what happens when you beat the Jayhawks, man. It's everybody's Super Bowl.
There you go, UCF.
Fuck this shit. Breaking my TV.
Where were they ranked?
They're
not. Okay, that's why.
They were 9-4 going into the game.
All right, well, that's a bummer for KU.
All right, well,
but
ironic because we're going to get into a DDOE where the guy is a Jayhawk alum.
So it is time, as always, for the one, the only, Mr. John Daly to hit it hard, man.
I hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, living large. I hit it hard.
That's right. We're gripping it and ripping it right now at the end of episode 67.
Oh, yeah.
And we are featuring, as Chad just mentioned, a former KU alum and now professional golfer, Gary Woodland. And Chad, give us a little rundown.
All right. Gary Woodland, professional golfer, arrived at the Sony Open and had a good night of sleep, meaning he didn't jump out of bed and grab the side of the mattress to make sure he wasn't falling out of the sky to his death. He flew to Hawaii without worrying the overhead bin would crash down and kill him. Fear and anxiety were unfamiliar terms to this rock chalk solid 3-sport star from Kansas, a former U.S. Open champion whose only fear was not living up to his high standards. And all that changed the last week in April when Woodland was at the Mexican Open and began to experience symptoms such as being jolted awake by unfounded fears, tremors in his hands, chills, and low energy. When he asked his doctor for something to calm the anxiety, that led to an MRI ordered to rule out Parkinson's disease. Instead, it revealed a lesion on his brain on a tract that caused fear. It is really wild that you can have a tumor on a part of your brain that causes fear.
Yeah, there's like those people that don't feel pain either, which is nuts.
Yeah, that's insane. It's just really weird when you can have certain parts of your brain
fucked up,
activated, or triggered, and it just causes there's a part of that brain that controls something. It's really nuts.
Well, and the crazy thing is the jolting and stuff that he was experiencing at night was partial seizures, and like you said, the lesion was on the part of his brain that controls fear and anxiety. So that would have been wild to be going through all that and not know what the hell's going on, and then you find out like there's just something growing on your brain.
Yeah. Very scary. Well, Woodland played 10 tournaments with the symptoms, 8 times on medication, 7 times after the diagnosis. Remarkably, he made 8 out of 10 cuts, but a summer of fear and medication gave way to the inevitable. He had brain surgery on September 18th. Doctors cut a hole in the side of his skull the size of a baseball.
Dang.
That's nuts.
And put it back on like a plug when they're in a...
Yeah, big enough that it required 30 staples to close. So he's got a gnarly scar, I bet. They didn't get all of it. There was a risk of losing sight in his left side and the use of the left side of his body, but it was deemed successful on all other counts. The tumor was benign and the feelings of fear were gone. But the support, he's quoted as saying, the support from the tour, from people outside the golf world has been tremendous for me and my family, Woodland said. When I woke up and realized I was okay, I was filled with the thankfulness and love that replaced the fear. So he has gone on to keep golfing. The Sony Open, which starts at Wailea Country Club. It's a Hawaiian country club.
I think Wailea, I don't know. Something.
Begins the long road back. Woodland spent 2 days in the hospital and insisted in on walking out. So he's just battling it and going to continue trying to golf and being the pretty good golfer that he is. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, which is pretty wild. Yeah, just to come back from something like that and to be pretty much fine is nuts.
Yeah, it is pretty wild. This story hits pretty close to home. I just first want to give a lot of respect for Woodland for battling all this. I'm sure he has good access to good medical care, so that surgery was a success and everything like that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other people out there battling things like this, and so I just want to use this time. If everybody out there that listens, whether you pray or whatever you do to seek out a higher power or find some type of center in yourself or some type of, whatever. My girlfriend's dad is currently battling some tumors and some cancer. So if everybody out there could just, send a little prayer, some good vibes his way as he's going through chemo and going through a hard time. Guys like Gary Woodland, they, professional golfer, they probably get the best surgeons possible, but not everybody has that luxury. So, Greg Duncan out there, I wish you well, man, and praying for you. He's a tough cookie. He's a badass, and I know he's going to make it through it. So, everybody send some well wishes his way.
Yeah, we're pulling for you, Greg, and, positive energy and all that stuff going out to you and your family. So,
yeah.
Nothing but the best.
Nothing but the best, sir. Yeah.
Well, on that note, it is time we wrap up this episode 67 of Fringe Fanatics. If you haven't yet, please go like, share, subscribe, and follow all things
Cheers
social
to you guys.
Media. Cheers to you guys. We appreciate you guys.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Water. I'm healthy today.
Yep. As always, dry January. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We love you.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it.
Share the episode.
Share the episode. Tell a friend.
Much love.
Tell 2 friends.
Much love.
We love you guys. Toodles. Peace out. We'll catch you guys next week on Tuesday. Same time. Same bat channel.
It will be Tuesday. Our internet's working now.
Yeah, internet's good. We made it.
Yep.
Toodles, guys.